And welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is a premier podcast for the website, sealesscomedy.com. It's a website. Go there. Excuse me while I adjust the microphone because I know it's hot. I understand it's hot. I came in extremely hot. But now, here we are, back in the Constitutionals. New setup, on time, hopefully. iPad in hand. This is my iPad Pro on my OtterBox case. Nice and durable. The iPad pencil, Apple Pencil, is somewhere away in the living room. I'm sitting extremely far up on the futon. It's weird doing this show. For 141 episodes now, I've been. I don't know how I did it to where I was comfortable, but now I'm just not comfortable. So here we are doing it. Okay. Like I said, this is the Constitutionals. If you haven't heard this show before, it's basically, I swear I'm not playing around. I'm just trying to figure something out. Where's the business? Where's Google Drive? Oh, I moved it. Why did I move it? Anyway, so far so good. Well, actually, this is the second iPad Pro I've gotten. Over Christmas, I went to go visit my parents, and the iPad Pro I had before this, 256 gig. Wi-Fi plus cellular. I got it on Verizon, even though I have Google Fi, because it was the cheapest way to get it. It was great. It was $200 off. Plus, I got a bunch of discounts because of the company I work for. And so I picked this up. I realized last week I was scratching my forearms a lot. I don't know what's wrong with me. They're very itchy, and I think it might be stress. Also because I'm spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on equipment that I can't afford, such as an iPad Pro. And then over Christmas, I've had this thing for 2 weeks, by the time Christmas starts, like a week and a half at most. So I take it over there for Christmas Eve. I spent the night. They live somewhere in Georgia, and I live somewhere in Atlanta, so it was very close. So I spent the night. It was not close enough where I could drive back, where I wanted to drive back on a Christmas Eve, late on Christmas Eve. So I decided to spend the night, and it was working. It was working fine. I left my apartment. I went to go see my aunt and uncle and my grandmother, and then I went from there to where my parents live, and my mom and my stepdad. And then I that night, it was working perfectly. I was watching The Simpsons. FX was having a Simpsons marathon, and it was working perfectly. I said, great, it's working perfectly. The Apple Pencil was working. Everything was working fine. The next day, I leave to go get breakfast at Starbucks because no one made me breakfast. I was not even offered breakfast, which is a thing that really pissed me off for having to drive, 50 miles away from the city to go up there. And I came back and I started playing with it and doing stuff, and I'm trying to show my mom stuff, and it's the Wi-Fi is going out, the cellular is not working, and then the Bluetooth just turns off completely. It says it's on, but it's off completely, and the Wi-Fi is connecting and disconnecting, disconnecting, and I'm wondering what the heck's going on. I have this $1,000 product. It's a 256 gig Wi-Fi plus cellular, so it's $1,100. I have this. This expensive product is not working. And I started freaking out. Then basically the day after Christmas, which is the 26th, I went to Best Buy, and they didn't have one at the Best Buy. So the Best Buy in the part of the city of Atlanta, Edgewood, where I'm close to. That's the one I usually go to. And then there's also one in Buckhead near work, where I work. So I went to the one in Buckhead. This is where I purchased this, or where I was going to purchase it, and they didn't have any more because I was gonna buy it there, and then the day I went, they said they were gone. This specific Wi-Fi Verizon model and cellular model, and then I went to Edgewood. They had one, bought it. Okay, we can have later. Conks out. I go to Best Buy Buckhead. They don't have it anymore. They just sold it. Go to Best Buy in Edgewood. They have literally one last one, the exact same color, space gray, 256 gig, Wi-Fi cellular, Verizon. They have literally one more. I raced to go get it. The Geek Squad couldn't figure out. They figured out that it was the bad Wi-Fi card, and then so then I finally eventually got this one. And then the Wi-Fi on this one, just one day, I think it was 2 weeks ago or last week. the Wi-Fi just blinked in and out, and I went, "Oh my God, it's happening again." So get Apple Care. Is what I'm saying. Get Apple Care. Just pay for it. It's $6, something like that, $7 or $8. But now I can put the iPad. I can put the laptop over here and monitor the sound waves, and not have to worry about anything. And then I can have the iPad in my hand. Eventually, hopefully, I'll have some type of audio recorder. First things first. Let's get into the constitutionals. Welcome. This is the podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. C+ Comedy is a great website. I was hoping to have some interview things up. Okay. You can't just click on a link. Apparently. You can't just click on a link. Oh my God, this camera's already dying? What the heck? I charged the battery all day long. Is that? Okay. Well, eventually we're just going to switch over to the GoPro by itself. And it looks like the GoPro's not even charging, and not even recording. So that's an issue. NBC is going to add a live studio audience to Hoda and Jenna. Now, we've seen live studio audiences with morning shows before. And I'm not talking about live with Kelly and whoever. GMA moved to a live studio audience in there, and they added a second hour, or a third hour, and they moved to a live studio audience. So that's the hot thing now. Megyn Kelly today also had a live studio audience. And it makes sense because it was, it was a show they're trying to get out to the masses. And I'm very surprised that they're doing this with Hoda for, as late in the game as she's been doing this show on NBC. Executives have reason to try and boost the duo. Since Cotby and Hager reunited on air in November, viewership for the hour has surged. According to Nielsen, the fourth hour of Today has seen viewers in the key demographic of people between 25 and 54 rise 14%, and overall audience hike 11% since November 11th of last year. And a maker. The fourth hour of Today has often been defined by Guilford's knack of injecting zaniness into the proceedings. Oh God! Just turn on the second camera just in case this first camera dies out. It just turned off again. I think I have to get more SD cards. Is it? Oh, is it taking a picture? You can see me mess with this. It is taking pictures. It's not recording video. It's just taking pictures. Oh. That's embarrassing. All right, now it's synced up. That is embarrassing. Oh my gosh. It was on the camera setting. I do have to get a new thing. So this is gonna be great for that hour of the morning news show. They're funny enough and they're weird enough to have an audience, and I am surprised that it's taken this long to do it. Like I said, with Hoda being there for so long. Okay, let's move on. We're gonna push this battery to the limit. Nora Lum, aka Awkwafina, had an interview with the New York Times talking about Awkwafina, the Comedy Central show that is airing soon, and some other stuff that I clicked on before, and the farewell and some other stuff I'll get on for. I think it's a very interesting interview. I really love reading the profiles that come from the New York Times Magazine, New York Times proper. Dave Itzkoff wrote this, and here is the article right here. Now I can show you everything, and I'm going to have to worry about flipping the laptop around. Great little picture of Nora Lum. That is her real name. She's also 31. Which is something that surprised me because I always feel like that's only a couple years older than me, like 5, but still I think. So like Rachel Bloom, when she started Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, she was 22. Then before that, she'd been doing the YouTube videos and Robot Chicken, writing for Robot Chicken. And improv, I guess. Who cares? Awkwafina is Nora from Queens is the show, and it debuts on the 22nd of January. I'm very surprised I was not offered an interview with her. I was offered interviews with other people, but not her. And in the interview, Itzkoff talks to her about she lived in Queens for a little bit when she was younger, and she had her great grandfather owned a Chinese restaurant. I'm just going to give you the basics of this interview. It was a really good interview. That's why I put it on here. I also read Tom Hanks's profile from the website, from the paper, from this past winter, holiday season, as well as the Dave Chappelle. Eddie Murphy won. A lot of good profiles out there. I just read today. I just read the one for Jean-Luc Picard, Sir Patrick Stewart. But now we're talking about Nora Lum. And B.D. Wong is in the show. Lori Tan Chin is in the show. You've seen them before. You know who B.D. Wong is. You know who Lori Tan Chin is. Bowen Yang's in the show, and he was cast on this before he was cast on SNL. He was a writer prior. He was a writer in SNL prior to that. Anyway. And then one important thing that Itzkoff really points out is that Nora is having this great surge in film. She's on so many great films, even as a character actor. But then on television, is it bad for her to step back on television? Because it will slow her down, because you would know 20 years ago, 20 years ago, if you did television, you didn't do movies. And if you did movies, you didn't do television. And it was an even bigger case back in the 70s, back in the 80s and 90s, just the TV and movie were separated, but now it's all the same thing. And she said, I definitely see that. And it was something that I asked myself, is my trajectory supposed to go like this? Then I realized that my trajectory doesn't make any sense. I have no idea if this is literally going to end tomorrow, which is true. I'm definitely prepared for the end times. I want to do a sitcom for that reason. It was something that was on the radar and I wanted to finish. It was also my second project as a lead and one of my first forays into executive producer. It's and also note that she's been on shows before, but the show that I remember her being on the most is Future Man on Hulu. She played in the first season. She was kind of a bully / bad guy. But yeah, the Nora Lum, she's great. Awkwafina is wonderful. And then also she said she's not going to drop the Awkwafina moniker at any point. Also, the show was picked up for a second season before this first season has even aired. So Comedy Central is really digging in deep on this. So let's go to break. Let's take a little break. And then we'll be right back with more of this. All right. 3, 2, 1. And we're back to the show. This is going to make for easy editing. Now, if you're watching the video, which I urge you to, you can find over there on youtube.com/C+comedy. I have the first camera is gone completely. The second camera, which is a GoPro, has become the main camera and is now sitting directly in front of me. It might be poorly lit. It should be really lit really well because I do have the light directly over me. All right, let's get into the last couple of stories. Has anything special happened to me this week? A guy cut me off today. It's Atlanta, so it happens almost every day. And I honked the mess out of him. Oh, also, I have a Chevy Volt. I have a hybrid. Obviously, I haven't been able to charge it for quite some years. Just based on living situations. And the key fob, the unlock on the key fob, has been used obviously to death. Recently within the past, I guess, year, even if you just slightly graze the entire key fob, the car unlocks. And since we don't have any covered parking, my car unlocks. Someone's going to go into it, especially at night because we live in the middle of the city, where a bunch of homeless people are. And so I go to the gym this morning, and I get in my car, and I see that my glove box is open. And I have an ice scraper in there, so for the windshield. So that's just like laying on the ground, but nothing else in my glove box is taken. My Taylor Swift albums are safe, and my insurance and my Bible, the Bible I have in there for some reason is safe. But then I notice, I have an Old Spice body spray thing in there just to, freshen things up because it can get stinky because that is a car I take to the gym because I have multiple cars, and it was gone, just gone. And then I'm like, and I go, did I leave the glove box open? And I thought, why would I ever do that? And then I close the glove box, and then I go, oh crap, the car was unlocked and somebody came into the car. Look inside, I have the center console, and oh, my freaking knife is gone. Shoot. And the things I keep in there are a knife I got from a bachelor party that was gifted to me from a bachelor party I was at. And gum and just like a really crappy pair of sunglasses. And that's where my Bluetooth module is. And and a cigar cutter because you never know when you need a cigar cutter. And the Bluetooth module, the gum, and I realize the knife. were gone, and a spare key to my house, which I probably moved. But that was gone. And I would go, oh, so my Bluetooth module's gone, and I go, well, great. And I had a ground splitter, a grounding thing to make the buzz go away. And it was gone. I go, well, freaking great. And then I get when I get to the gym, I open my door, and in the driver's side, I always kept an umbrella that it was. Very, very dumb story, but one day it was raining. Like I parked my car. This is in college. I parked my car, sort of off campus, and then I walk all the way to like one of the buildings where I think I was going. And then it was raining so hard. It was raining and pouring and stuff. And then I go, I should go back to my car and get my umbrella because I'll be here all day. I run back to the car and get my umbrella. It's a very crappy, just broken down umbrella I probably got from Walmart at the time. And then I go to class and I'm soaking wet, and then I just go, I'm just gonna throw the umbrella away. I throw the umbrella away, and I go to the bookstore and I buy an umbrella from the school. And it was a very expensive umbrella, for being a college student. It was a $20 umbrella, and it had University of Tennessee Chattanooga on it. And I thought, I was so mad, just having to buy that umbrella. But I kept it obviously over the past 5 years, and I used it whenever it rained because it's a good umbrella. It was a good sturdy umbrella. It had to be for $20, and that umbrella is now gone. So I was at the gym, and I was boxing at the gym, and every time I hit the bag, I got madder. I used that anger to just hit the bag even harder. But I came to a conclusion. I do not care if I see the homeless person that has my freaking umbrella. I'm going to chase them down. I'm not going to offer to pay for it. I'm going to chase them down, and I'm going to take it back. I'm not joking. I'm dead serious. You should have, if you heard the things that I was saying about the homeless person, the hypothetical homeless person, you would have been like, wow, Chad is mad. Oh boy. Seriously, I hope they, you know what? I'm not going to say it because it's very bad. So now I'm out that stuff, but thankfully nothing else was taken. So now I have to, when I get paid tomorrow, I'm going to buy a new, not a new key fob, but a new key fob case. I'm going to pry open the old one, take the circuit board, and replace it into that new key fob because it's just the case. Because it's just, oh well, this is brand new. NBCU's Peacock pricing launch and date announced. Launch date announced. So let's pop that open into a new tab. If Chrome on the iPad would work. Apparently it's not going to. Okay, this is NBCU's Peacock pricing and launch date announced. We're going to read this together. Peacock will unfold. This is from Variety, written by Todd Spangler, my good friend. Peacock will unfold its tail feathers this spring for Comcast customers and will launch widely across the U.S. this summer. I have Comcast for internet, so I wonder if I can use that. Streaming service from Comcast and NBC Universal will be available April 15th for Comcast, Xfinity TV, and broadband-only customers. Broadband. Internet. Yeah, that's me. It will debut nationally July 15th. Ooh, Jesus. Including a free ad-supported version of Peacock that carries about half the content. What? Oh, good Lord, guys. Don't do that. All right, pricing tiers for the service are as follows. Peacock Premium. With a total of 15,000 hours of live and on-demand content, this tier will be available to Comcast, Xfinity TV, and broadband subscribers via Flex. And Cox Communications video customers with ads for no additional charge. Oh. So as long as I have Comcast internet, I can use it. Right? Or just, oh, no, that's if you have the video customers. Okay. The company expects to bundle Peacock Premium with additional partners in the coming months. Comcast and Cox customers can upgrade to an ad-free version of Peacock Premium for an additional $5 per month. Peacock Premium is available, and this is the next bullet. Peacock Premium is available for $10 a month for no ads and $5 monthly with ads for those who don't have service through a Peacock-affiliated TV or broadband provider. Yeah, so it's free if you have broadband. That's what it says. That's what it's saying, right? This is for Peacock Premium. This tier will be available to Comcast, Xfinity, and broadband subscribers via Flex and Cox Communications video customers with ads for no additional charge. Right. So as long as I am subscribed to internet, then I'm fine. And then there's Peacock Free. The free ad-supported option will have some 75,000 hours of programming, including next-day access to current season of the NBC Freshman broadcast series. Oh, what does that mean for Hulu? Full runs of older series, movies, daily news, and sports programming, Spanish language content, select episodes of Peacock Originals, and tentpole series, and curated genre channels like SNL Vault, Family Movie Night, and Olympic Profiles. That next-day thing is what has me on edge. To current seasons of NBC Freshman broadcast TV series. So I wonder if that means shows like Sunnyside canceled, and the church one. That's embarrassing. Because I used to watch it. I also interviewed somebody from it. The church one. The church one. That one. I wonder... Or Jane's Playlist, is that what it's called? No, Jane Levy stars in that show. Anyway, so I guess freshman broadcast series, I guess that means the first season, whatever show is in its first season right now, will be on there in full. But then afterwards it'll move to Hulu. I don't understand. So basically $10, $5 to $10. Comcast is projected investing $2 billion into Peacock over 2020 and 2021. Peacock is going to include The Office, Parks and Rec, Married with Children, King of Queens, 30 Rock, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Cheers, Everybody Loves Raymond, Frasier, Saturday Night Live, and Will and Grace. I wonder what this means for Hulu. It's really got me curious about this. Oh, boy. I don't know. To address subscription fatigue, a version of Peacock will be available for the price of free. Advertising will be limited to 5 minutes of ads per hour. So you watch 2 episodes of The Office, then... Okay, well, that's an interesting take on streaming. Free, and you get half the shows and movies. I guess that works. But obviously The Office is going to be on both. Free and the premium version, so you can get that. But again, the past seasons of shows like Cheers is on Amazon, Hulu, and Netflix. Did it say Cheers? Cheers is a CBS show? Because this. Wait a minute. Or am I just thinking of Cheers? Because I do love that show. Yeah, Cheers. It says Cheers. Or Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like Brooklyn Nine-Nine is on constant rotation for me on Hulu. So I wonder if that means they're going to take that show off. Or I wonder if you can watch like the latest season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but with ads or no ads, depending on your tier. But then on Hulu, that's where the back catalog is going to be. I'm just going to buy the shows. I don't care anymore. I'm buying shows digitally, or I'm buying them on DVD, ripping the DVDs or Blu-rays, and then having a digital copy on a NAS server, because this is ridiculous. I'm not paying for this crap anymore. He says as Disney Plus took $7 out of his account yesterday. I signed up. I have Disney. I have the bundle, and they still took $7 out of my account. So I gotta get on the horn with somebody with that one. All right, this next story. It's way too long. Cynthia Erivo responds to Stephen King's tweets about diversity in art. Now, Cynthia Erivo, she's been nominated twice over for an Oscar this past week. But we're not talking about the Oscar nominations because I could talk about diversity all over the case right now. Stephen King tweeted this. He would never consider diversity in matters of art, only quality. It seems to me that to do otherwise would be wrong. In response to this year's Oscars nominees not being inclusive for women or people of color, HBO presented a panel for the latest adaptation of one of his works, The Outsider. This comes from the Variety, written by Danielle Turciano. King was not in attendance. He had never been scheduled to appear, even prior to sending the tweet, but actor Cynthia Erivo, who's in the show, The Outsider, the miniseries, responded to the question about diversity's place in not only the art, but also business of film in Hollywood. The quote is, she's talking about black women, women in general. I think you're seeing more of it on TV, HBO in particular, where you have Regina King on Watchmen, who's incredible. Blah blah blah. Okay, yeah. Okay. It's very interesting that so the whole issue is that women directors, mainly Greta Gerwig, is all of anybody talking about, didn't get nominated for Little Women, a movie about a bunch of white women. I've come to a part of my life where I just don't care about white women are going to be fine. No matter what happens, Greta Gerwig is going to get. I understand that might be a little controversial. Praise Jesus. White women are going to be fine no matter what happens. And in the end, yes, I understand they can be sexually harassed. I understand stuff can happen to them. The same stuff that can happen to other women of color, to women of color, excuse me, can happen to white women. But women of color are the ones who are in the doghouse here. Black women, repeatedly the worst treated women in the world. Trans women of color, they I mean, God forbid they live. You know, they're killing themselves, and it's getting suicidal, and because they're the black sheeps. Indian women, Asian women, it's all like white women are going to work. White women are going to work. There's not going to be a shortage of white women working. All right, is what I'm trying to say. But women of color have it way worse, and I'm not trying to compare. I understand that there's a whole fight, for women of color, and people of color to fight back against the white man. But in this case, Greta Gerwig is I guarantee you, going to be at the Oscars next year with another movie. She was at the Oscars with Lady Bird. She's at the Oscars with Little White Women. Now she's going to be at the Oscars with Little White Men, or whatever her follow-up is. So there you go. There's a fight going on. But Cynthia Erivo has to work 10 times as hard as Greta Gerwig when it comes to this type of stuff. Again, I know Greta Gerwig suffered and whatever, but Cynthia Erivo, Kerry Washington, Malala Yousafzai, let's see. Oh God, Margaret Cho, Sherry Cola, who I just had a conversation with for the website, all have to work like 1,200 times as harder than Greta Gerwig, who can walk on a street and I'll stop myself. So there you go. And finally, Spike Lee, this is from the New York Times, is going to head the Cannes Film Festival jury. This is written by Alex Marshall. Look at this picture of Spike. Oh, you probably can't see it, but look at this picture of Spike. Just sit on the couch. Click on the article. It's a good article. Spike Lee is going to be ahead of the Cannes Film Festival. The festival said this Tuesday. That festival loves him. He's been at the Cannes Film Festival with every single one of his films. In a statement released by the festival, Lee said he was, quote, shocked, happy, surprised, and proud all at the same time. In this life I have lived, my biggest blessings have been when they arrived unexpected. Lee's relationship with Cannes started back in 1986 when She's Gotta Have It, his debut feature about a young black woman, won the festival's Youth Prize for the Best Young Director. Reporting from that festival for The Times, Larry Rotter said the film was received so warmly, quote, that some enthusiastic French critics had already begun talking about Mr. Lee as the Black Woody Allen, perhaps because of his sense of humor and his loving treatment of New York City. Excuse me. And ever since then, the Cannes people love him. Cannes people love him, and it's good that he's going to be able to choose what film. I think the jury is what they choose. Those people just choose what's the best film of the thing. The president of the festival, Pierre Lesecure, and Terry Fermau is the artistic director, praised Lee in a joint statement, saying, quote, Spike Lee's perspective is more valuable than ever. Cannes is a natural homeland and a global sounding board for those who reawaken minds and question our stances and fixed ideas. Lee's flamboyant personality is sure to shake things up. Oh, man. Yeah, Spike Lee is definitely one of the best of our time. And it's really important that he was able to do this. Oh, we've been going for half an hour. That's good. Really good. And I got this episode done ahead of time, but news time is still late. What it do? That's the title of this episode. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head on over to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where there are some brand spanking new interviews, hopefully by the time that this is a week old. Listen, next week, just look for 2 new interviews. One with Nicholas Coombe, an Australian actor who was in the Dora the Explorer movie, live action film, and he is in a new show called 68 Whiskey over there on the Paramount Network. And then the other one is Sherry Cola. She's in Good Trouble over there on Freeform. Good Trouble's been around for a minute, but 68 Whiskey is a brand new show produced by Ron Howard and Brian Grazer with their Imagine Productions. That's off the top of my head. That really is. So definitely check those out. Both good interviews. Nicholas is from Australia. You can hear it in his accent. It wasn't as thick as the one I'm putting on right now. We talked about the fires in the end part, but his family is safe. So I said, I hope your family's safe. And he's like, they are. That's not how he sounds, but yeah. And then Sherry and I talked about, Sherry and I spoke the day after the Oscars nominations were announced, and people were already writing. It's insane because the Oscars were announced California time 5:18. My time, 9:18. No, excuse me. Sorry. 6:18 California time, 9:18 my time. And no, 8:18. It was 8:18 because I was on my way to work. So 8:18 and 5:18, respectively, my East-West time. And by the time 11 a.m. hit, I saw opinion pieces, editorials from Vox, New York Times, Washington Post. Like everybody had already written something. And very interesting that they probably already had those planned out about there not being diverse people, women, white women, of course, and people of color inside the Academy voting and the movies and stuff like that. Anyway, so Sherry and I spoke about Asian people representation rather, and women and female representation, and queer representation because she is a person of the LGBTQ community. And we talked about that, and it was great. I as you know, already I have questions written out and everything, but that was what I was feeling because I read like 5 of those things, and I've been on a huge kick lately about white women. I love dating white women. I love dating white women. Oh, but listen, you're gonna be fine in the end. Me. Women who look like me, women who are darker or lighter or whatever, they're not. So we gotta fix that. So definitely check that out. Check both of those out. Excuse me, over there on cpluscomedy.com. And then you can also, if you want to see a video version of this podcast, see me switch around the cameras a little bit, you can go to youtube.com/cpluscomedy for that. And you can also there check out the premiere show News Time, which is a show. It's like the Daily Show. I take one story, I dive into it for a couple of minutes, and try to make it funny. This week's episode is about political debates, where they came from, how they started, blah, blah, blah. I found some great footage from the second season of the 1956 season of Face the Nation on CBS, where Eleanor Roosevelt and Margaret Chase Smith were debating in the first live televised debate. Women did it, right? Anyway, check it out over there on youtube.com/cpluscomedy. And yeah, that's it. Oh, tell your friends about the podcast. Rate, review us on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher. Those 4 places. And anywhere else. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. I love you. Goodbye.